Hi everyone, it's Maria, and today I'm going to talk to you about 4 books that I read in the last few weeks that really were pretty great. I also will probably tell you a few things that were just awesome about life lately. I'm hoping I don't get interrupted because I've tried making this video like 8 times and everybody keeps interrupting me. So that said, I'll go ahead and jump right in. All right, first up is one thing that I did that got me into the book that I'm going to show you. Okay, one thing that I did in the last few weeks was binge watch The Crown. My husband was away for business for a week, and when he's away, I always try and find a show or something that he just doesn't care about, and so I got the first season of The Crown on DVD, and it was awesome. So then I had to go to the library and pick up the companion guide to see what was fictionalized and what wasn't. I was really impressed by how much was actually legit. I got to learn a lot about this period. This tells the first bit of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. It also does a little bit of backtracking to when she was a little girl. I knew some of that monarchy story just because I really got interested when I watched the King's speech and then read the book and then all that other stuff. Down the rabbit hole we go. But I really, really liked how they did this season. It was really great. And I liked the book quite a bit. They have lots of photos that show from the show versus what really happened. I liked how it was organized. I wasn't feeling great at that point because I was starting to get sick, and it was still easy to follow, so I appreciated that. So if you're looking for nonfiction, for nonfiction in November, or just in general, this is great. Another book that I read that I had been taking about 3 weeks on was The Muse by Jessie Burton. This I buddy read with Krista from Books and Jams and Lucy from Book Acts. It was really fun to buddy read with them because little bits that we would catch was fun to see what other people would catch too. My favorite things about Jessie Burton's writing is that she shows and doesn't tell. For example, one of the characters, when she goes into an office of another character, is trying to kind of make sense of her, figure out what she's like, and she checks the spines of her books, which I thought was just a really good detail to show not only how that character was, but what she thought of the other one as well. This book goes back and forth between 2 time frames, 1930s Spain and 1960s London. 1930s Spain is where this particular painting is painted, and so you are seeing who is actually doing the painting and where it is going from there to get to where it is in 1960s Spain, or 1960s London. And I thought that was just a really kind of back and forth. I like books like that because it's almost a mystery to try and figure out how the characters know each other and how they ended up with what they had. I don't want to say too much of this. I will say the front end of this book and the back end of this book were really engaging for me and packed a big punch. The middle part got a little fuzzy, but I don't necessarily blame that on Miss Burton because I was really sick. I actually had to take about a 1.5 week break reading this just because my head was swimming and I couldn't focus on all the beautiful sentences. That's when I go to graphic novels or something a little bit simpler. But I really recommend The Muse. The Miniaturist is also a good book of hers. There are lots of twists and turns. It kept me guessing the entire book. Who was who, where the painting was from, and I gasped and let out several exclamations towards the end of the book that made my entire family question what was going on just because I was so enraptured by the mystery behind the book. So I highly recommend it. Thank you for letting me crash your buddy read. Krista and Lucy, I'm sorry I got sick. It was kind of a crap buddy at the end, but I really liked it. The last 2 books that I wanted to talk to you about, I don't have in person, but I have them in the thumbnail on this video because I had to return them to the library before I could film. So there's How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. Matt Haig is a writer that I've really come to enjoy, and I plan on reading all of his books. He doesn't write very long ones. How to Stop Time is 330 pages, I think. It tells the story of a man who has a condition that makes him age much slower than the average person. So I think for every year of his life, everyone else ages 15 years. And so it's just a really neat book to kind of show what makes life sweet. I appreciate that he throws in lots of pop culture notes, different books that make me want to go back and read, different songs. I think it's the kind of book you could definitely do like a whole playlist of, as well as like companion parallel side books. Matt Haig is very big fond of Emily Dickinson, so he always includes a little bit of her in there, I think, as well. And she talks about the thing that makes life so sweet is that it comes but once, and that is definitely the feel behind this book. It makes you feel just like life is so sweet. The very first couple paragraphs, you realize that the first thing that he thinks he's not supposed to do is fall in love, because it's just going to be too hard when you have a very different lifespan to fall in love. And so that's definitely a central theme around the book, is him trying to make sense of what to do with that. There's also some other objectives that he is trying to kind of figure out. I don't want to spoil that part. But yeah, towards the end, there's some suspense wrapped around who is antagonist and who is working with him. I really enjoyed it. Towards the end, I would have liked a little bit more detail on one or two of the characters, but overall, very strong book. I will definitely be getting it as soon as my no buy is up, because I want to underline the heck out of it. All right, and the last book that I read when I was really sick. Graphic novels are great when you're not feeling well because there's not as much focusing to do. It is The Silence of Our Friends by Mark Long. This book is a graphic novel set in 1960s Texas and Houston, and it follows a white man and a black man and trying to figure out their friendship, how to stand up for one's beliefs, even when it's very dangerous, how to cross those racial lines. It is inspired by the author's family lore, but definitely not just, it's not straight up nonfiction. It definitely resonates with things that actually happened back then, though. So I really enjoyed reading it. I thought it was a good book to pick up for February for Black History Month, even though I didn't quite finish it until March. Yes. So those are the books that I read in the last few weeks. I also really wanted to share with you a couple of little things that made me happy. The last few weeks, we've had quite a lot of change in our extended family. My brother-in-law got engaged. My in-laws purchased a house in town and are in the midst of downsizing a lot, which means we're trying to kind of help them figure out what to keep and what not to keep, as well as making their transition to our town more easy. It also means that I'm trying desperately to get my house in order so I don't feel stressed out with having a very neat mother-in-law in town. So I actually downsized our room quite a bit, and it looks amazing. It looks like heaven now. I really enjoyed it. It was a great birthday present for myself. I also threw myself a birthday party, which was a favorite things party. If you've never thrown one of those, it's people bring 3 or so of their favorite things to swap. So we did that. And I just really have kind of enjoyed relationships lately. I feel like winter is when everybody just kind of goes inside and doesn't talk with anybody anymore because everybody's sick. So we're kind of starting to break out of that a little bit, and I'm happy about it. 2 other things that I wanted to share was for my birthday, one of my best friends from college decided she's an extraordinary person, very creative. There are not anybody else. There's just she's one of a kind. One time she told my parents she wanted to build a popsicle stick replica of their house to show them how much she appreciated their hospitality. Like, that's the kind of person she is. She found these really cute speech bubble sticky notes that she thought I could use for school, which I totally can, but she wanted to do an example. So she did a brief illustration of 18 years of friendship, the agony and the ecstasy, college, 2000 to 2004. She did only get to the first 2 years, including illustrating with stick people about the time that she cut my hair and it didn't go great. Oh, I didn't really care, but my friend was like, don't ever let her do that again. Talking about dating and bad choices with dating. In this square, we meet Aaron, my husband, So that was kind of funny. She says, use your geeky intellect to charm her. I just thought this was such a neat present for somebody. It made me laugh till I cried. I actually woke my 3-year-old up with my laughing. That's how good it was. So I just want to remind you that you can spread love into the world without necessarily spending a whole lot of money. That was one thing. Another thing that I really am enjoying is my friend makes these really beautiful essential oil necklaces and bracelets. But this is, there's some Dalmatian woods, and then this is just unfinished wood that you can put essential oil on. And one of my best friends bought me one because she knew that I've like been desperate to have one since I bought some for some of my other friends. So anyway, that's the stuff that's making me happy right now. Essential oils, stick figure cartoons, and reading, as well as getting rid of anything that I don't need. So that's the update from me. I would love to hear from you what you've been reading. Have you read any of these? Have you watched The Crown? What did you think of the first season? Have you seen the second season? I have not gotten to that yet, obviously. Yeah, I would love to know. And I will talk to you all later. I'm enjoying Middle Grade March. So I'll talk more about that as we go along through the month. Bye.